Welcome back. Are you scared your introverted nature is going to prevent you from making sales? This video is for you. Today, I'm sharing sales strategies for introverts. All right, welcome back. I want to share with you the best sales strategies for introverts. I am an introvert myself, but somehow I've been able to make sales. How does that work when all we really want to do is curl up with a good book? I want to welcome you back to the channel. If you are new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. On this channel, I'm sharing exactly how to market yourself and your business so you can grow your revenue and create your very own version of a lavish life. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. So what's it like to be able to make sales as an introvert? Let me take you back. It's a little bit of story time. Let's sit around the fire just a little bit. When I first started my coaching business, I was told that I needed to do specific things in order to book clients. I was told that I needed to live stream on a consistent basis. And I started live streaming every day. I remember live streaming on our anniversary, and I was like, there's gotta be a different way. There's literally no way I can just keep live streaming, and live streaming wasn't even a thing before a couple years ago. So what can I do? What have people done in the past, and what can I do in order to still make sales as an introvert? I thought I was gonna have to do sales calls all day. And I went back and forth because I really wanted my business to work. And so I would book sales calls. And I remember the month that I hit my very first 5-figure month, I actually booked 27 sales calls. And I was excited because I made 5 figures, but after that month, I was like, this is just, I don't want to keep doing sales calls. But I was like, I'm committed. I'll do it. If this is what I got to do, I'll do it. And so the very next month, I continued and I created an entire system and process in order to bring clients to me so that they would book on my calendar. And a couple months later, I hit my very next 5-figure months back to back. I talk about this a lot more in the free training that I did on how to create the client gaining system. And if you'd like more information on that, you can just click the link in the description or go to you'vegotclients.com. So after I, reached those 5-figure months, I went backwards just a little bit. So my next couple months of income they fluctuated. So some months I was hitting that 5 figures. Other months I was down to $4,000 or something like that. And I remember thinking this is not going to be sustainable because clearly I don't want to do sales calls as much as I'm trying to force myself to do them. I just don't want to do them. And then someone was like, well, maybe you don't have sales calls with the right people. And I was like, okay, great. So let me get better people. So I worked on my system and I got better people on the phone. And I still, every time I saw a call booked, I would look at it and think, man, I hope they cancel. Or man, I hope they no-show. And just that energy is not the energy that you want to come at it with when you want to book clients, because the energy and the vibration that you're putting out is the energy and the vibration that you're going to attract. So if you are constantly saying, man, I hope this person no-shows, even if that person doesn't no-show, well, maybe the next person will no-show. And basically all it's not, you're silently repelling potential clients. So when we think about sales strategies for introverts, there's a couple things that I want you to think about and a couple of ways that you can make things work for you. First is understanding what your particular introvert style is like. There are some introverts who actually don't mind sales calls. At this point, I don't mind sales calls. I have a very specific day and time, so I only accept calls. This is coaching calls, client calls, discovery calls. I only accept calls on Mondays and Tuesdays. That's it. So I know that the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, my calendar is going to be open. I do success calls on Saturday because I'm already all made up for recording YouTube videos. So if you have a success call scheduled, we'll likely do it on Saturday. I just found that I got tired of seeing myself in my workout bun on those success calls. So I was like, oh, in order to solve that problem, I'll just have those calls on Saturday. So Saturday, I do success calls, and then Monday and Tuesday is when I'll do coaching calls, client calls, and calls with potential clients. So that's the very first thing, is just sort of figure out like, what is your particular need? Like, what do you need in order to make sure that you're protecting yourself and protecting your introvert energy, but also still doing what you need to do in order to grow your business. Because I know that I can grow my business with automated sales and lower ticket courses, and even sales of higher ticket courses directly from a webinar. But I actually do like talking to my clients, potential clients. I like talking to specific pre-qualified clients, like not just random people who are like, oh yeah, I kind of want to work with you, but I don't have any money. Like, those are the calls that are draining. So get clear on the type of clients that you want to work with. Second thing is understand, like, now that you've got, essentially you've got your schedule set up and you figured out when you're going to take calls, how you're going to do it, if you're even going to do calls, think about how you can continue to adjust the process of someone getting on the phone with you. So essentially what you want to do is you want to put up a barrier. Like, you don't just want anyone to book a call. So you want to put up certain hurdles and barriers and qualifying points for that person to get on the phone with you. And that way you'll know once someone does get on the phone with you, well, they've already taken the time to fill out your application. They've already taken the time to identify themselves as an ideal client. They've already told you why they want to work with you. And so hopping on the phone should feel like you're getting on the phone with an old friend. And, underlying all of this is really believing in yourself and believing in what you do enough so that you understand that what you do is valuable and you have to get out there. You have to make yourself available to clients. Like, it's your job to work on you so that you can help deliver that message that you are uniquely qualified to deliver. Like, your clients need you. And if I were to allow my introvert nature to get in the way of that, then I wouldn't do any coaching calls. I probably would just get a full-time job so I could just sit at a desk behind a computer with nobody bothering me, which doesn't really work, because even when I worked in a cubicle, like, people would always like pop over like, hey, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, I would get so much more done if I were just at home, because I wouldn't have to worry about you asking me if I got your email. Yes, I got the memo. I got it, but I digress. So you do have to focus on your clients, focus on that person that needs the transformation that you offer, so that you know exactly what you need to do in order to start getting out there. The next thing I did in order to protect my introvert energy so that I could still make sales was to create one great piece of content. So at first you'll determine your preferred method and your style. And, you might say, well, I prefer blogging over podcasting, or I prefer podcasting over video, or like me, I prefer video over everything. I do not want to write a blog post. That is more draining to me than sitting in front of the camera and just talking about what I want to share. I like the fact that when I speak, I can just speak out what I want to say without trying to edit myself for grammar or make sure I'm saying things the right way. I like that it helps me focus and it helps me to prepare for speaking engagements. Like, a lot of these topics and things that I share with you guys are topics that sometimes they're topics I'm testing out, how I like talking about them, content that I'm preparing to provide in like a course or a step-by-step program or something like that. So figure out your preferred method, but then create one great piece of content. And don't just put it up on your blog or put it up on YouTube or put it into, the iTunes podcast system. Create it and put it behind a paywall. And it doesn't have to be like dollar paywall, right? Like actual money, but you could ask for an email address in exchange for that great piece of content. And once that person reads that great piece of content, watches that great piece of content, listens to that great piece of content, ask them to apply for a call, or you can do what I'm about to share with you in a second, which is just ask them to message you and reach out to you. But before I get to that process, because that is like the holy grail. Now I just have clients who message me. And like the other day I had somebody message me. She was like, hey, I'm interested. I was working out. Okay, I'm going to get to that story in a second. Give me a second. So when I say create one great piece of content, what I mean is I prefer a webinar, and I will call it anti-webinar because my anti-webinar formula is all you need if you have a hard time writing out what you want to write, or you get stuck like I do. It will give you block by block, like here's what to put in this spot. And the clients who go through the You've Got Clients program, and there's actually several clients in there right now that are going through the process of creating their webinar. One of them was just like, and I've heard this over and over again, but one of them said, she was like, I see how all the pieces are getting pulled together. Like at all of these assignments that you're showing us to do, this is our webinar. And it's just really cool to start seeing all the pieces come together. So if that's something that you're interested in and you want to join us inside of You've Got Clients so that you can create your own client gaining system, then all you have to do is click the link in the description or go to you'vegotclients.com for details. I highly, highly recommend a webinar as your one solid piece of content. The reason that I recommend a webinar is because you can deliver a lot of value in that short time frame, whether it's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever it is. You can also establish yourself as the expert. It allows you to build that credibility. You can say exactly what you want to say. You can really build that case for your process, for your method, for your secret sauce. The webinar allows you to do that. And the reason that I feel like webinars are so great, and in particular, obviously the anti-webinar formula, but the reason I feel like webinars are so great is because you can use them in different formats. So some people won't even realize that it's a webinar if you decide to use that webinar and do it as a live stream instead of with slides. Or I've used my anti-webinar formula for a speaking engagement and booked clients during that speaking engagement. So your webinar is a really, really good piece of content. At the end of the webinar, because you have your solid piece of content, your ideal client knows exactly why they should work with you. They know what that problem is that you solve and that it matches up with the problem that they have. And they know that they can't wait any longer, and they know what to do next in order to get your help. Which brings me to my final point on sales strategies for introverts, which is if you don't want to do sales calls, don't do sales calls. I will say at first, it's good to do sales calls, discovery calls, strategy sessions in order to get an idea for and a feel for what people are asking for. It's kind of like that marketing and research side of things. But after you get to a certain point, you absolutely can just ask people to message you for more information. And that's exactly what I do. So you might notice in some of my trainings and some of my webinars, live streams, whatever it is, I might say something like, hey, just message me if you'd like more information or you want to get started. And people do. And that's exactly what happened. So I actually had a potential client who reached out the other day. I happened to be working out. I was staying home and I was working out, and in between sets, don't tell my coach, in between sets, I was checking my notifications, and the notification came up from the business page that someone had messaged me. So by the time I opened it up, my timer went off and it was time for me to get back to working out. So here I am doing lying leg lifts, working my abs and then like reading the phone at the same time. And I was messaging her back and forth, and I was like answering her questions, asking her questions to make sure she was a good fit. And then I got done with my workout and I still wasn't 100% clear on if I could help her or what her main issue was. So I was like, hey, would you be open to hopping on a quick call? That's typically the only time that I will open things up to a phone call. If I'm not clear on, I gotta be clear that I can help you get results. And if I'm not clear on that, then I need to get on the phone with you. But there are other clients where I'm like super clear and I can see their problem right away after messaging. And I'm like, oh yeah. And we'll go straight into sending the link and doing the payment. So with this client, in this example, I hopped on a quick Zoom call with her and we sort of went through the process, figured out exactly what it is that she needed. I got really clear on that. I sent her the payment link and she became a client within 24 hours. So you don't have to do sales calls. You don't have to, anything that somebody tells you have to do, you don't have to do any of that. What you do have to do is what feels right for you and what feels right for your business. And I will say that in the first couple of months and years, honestly, in my business, I spent a lot of time doing the stuff that people kept saying that I needed to do. And I feel like when you first get started, this is typical simply because you don't have your own confidence to know what will work. And you also don't really know that you can just try almost anything and see if it works. So because you don't have that confidence, you're leaning on the confidence of your mentors, of other people that you see. You're, watching people who are like, oh, I made 6 figures this month. And you're like, okay, well, I'll just do what they're doing. But what they're doing might not necessarily work for you, especially if it doesn't resonate with you. Like bringing it back around to a metaphysical level, if it doesn't vibe with you, it won't work for you. Okay. So if you, for example, are, choosing to do sales calls, but your mentor told you that you needed to use this specific script and you need to make people cry on the phone before you even give them an opportunity to sign up, and you don't like the idea of like forcing someone to sign up or like bringing someone to tears, it's not going to work for you. It'll work for them because it's congruent with who they are and what their vibe is. But if that's not your vibe, it won't work for you. And what'll happen is you'll end up resenting your mentor because you feel like you didn't get what you expected, or they told you it was going to work one way, but then it didn't work for you. And really what it should have come down to was you realizing that it just wasn't your vibe. And so you have to specifically say no to the stuff that is not your vibe. Now, with that said, are you going to have to do some things that make you uncomfortable? Absolutely. When I hit my first 5-figure month, I did a lot of uncomfortable things. Like it was my first time actually reaching out to individual people and saying, hey, I think you would be a good fit for this. Or reaching out to individual people and saying, hey, we haven't caught up in a while. Like that was super uncomfortable for me, for my introvert self. Absolutely. I never wanted to do that, but it was something that I decided to try because I was like, hey, if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, at least I tried it. And so that's essentially the point you have to get at when you're working on your sales strategies. Like, don't do the thing that the extroverts do that is like, yeah, it works for them, but that's because they like talking people's ear off, right? But introverts are really good at sales because we prefer to listen and we have that intuition. But in order to do that, you also have to listen to yourself. So remember that it's more about figuring out what works for you. When you figure out what works for you and what you enjoy doing, it'll make your marketing a whole lot easier. In the meantime, I'm curious to hear from you. Do you like sales calls? Are you afraid of them? Do you actually like doing the traditional sales call where you're like forcing someone to buy? Have you ever? Too many questions. Now I want to hear from you. How do you feel if you're on a call and you feel like someone is forcing you to buy or you feel pressured? How does that make you feel? I'm curious to hear from you. Let's get the conversation started. Until next time, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.